Neville Goddard didn't say consciousness influences reality. He said consciousness is the only reality. So what this means is when you imagine something, you're not tricking the universe into giving you what you want. You don't need to try and prove yourself to God so that he might give you a blessing. Consciousness is the only reality, and your imagination changes your state of consciousness. When you change what you imagine, essentially you're changing the reality you live in. And I say this in a lot of videos, but when I say imagination or to imagine something, what I mean is changing the experience you're having within yourself. And that experience you're having within yourself is your consciousness. It is what you are conscious of being. It is your reality. And what Neville Goddard means when he says consciousness isn't what you're thinking or feeling or talking about or the affirmations you're doing. Consciousness is your awareness of being. And it's what you're aware of being right now, or what you're imagining, or the experience you're having within yourself that is going to be reflected in your world. And a way you can look at this in real time is, have you ever noticed that when you're in a bad mood, more and more things seem to go wrong? Or when you're in a bad mood, it seems like you're always in a bad mood your whole life. Things have just been going wrong. But when you're happy, you barely ever notice or remember all the bad times. And this because reality is reflecting your level of consciousness. Your memories, your emotions, your thoughts, your actions, and how you feel are all part of the universe still, and they're all reflecting back to you, the reality you're in, the level of consciousness that you're in. So when you're in a bad mood, your memories, your thoughts, your actions, the events in your day are going to reflect that. And when you're in a good mood or in a good state of consciousness, your memories and thoughts and actions are going to reflect that too. Because consciousness is the only reality. And like I said at the beginning, consciousness doesn't influence reality. There's no tricking the universe. What shows up in your life is directly reflected on your consciousness, what you're conscious of being. So now I'm going to go over 4 steps that you can use that are more practical and how you can actually apply this in your daily life so that you can step into your desired state of consciousness, your desired reality, so that you can live the life you know you came here to live. So the first thing is to stop focusing on what you want and start focusing on who you're being, because it's who you're being that is directly related to what you're aware of being. What you're aware of being is essentially what you're conscious of being, and it's that consciousness within you that is reality. So when you shift the focus from what do you want, what things are out there that you can get, and move it into who you are being, then things will start to change. Then you can really start to manifest rather than waiting for something to come so you can feel a certain way. Feel yourself to be the person you would be if you had those things, and then those things will come. So once you've asked yourself who you're being, the second step is to ask yourself what it would feel like if you were that person. We kind of went over that step, but let's say, you're not as wealthy as you would like to be. Just ask yourself, how would someone feel if they had the wealth that I desire? And just focus on that for a bit. Just notice what comes up and surrender to that feeling. Once you've captured a glimpse of that feeling, go in your imagination and really imagine what it would feel like. Create a scene if you want more wealth, and create a scene of, what that would look like to you. It doesn't need to be a super long scene. Any visualization really only needs to be 1 to 2 seconds and something that implies your wish has been fulfilled. It doesn't need to be long or complicated, but short and detailed. Keep it 1 to 2 seconds. And if we use the wealth example again, it could look something like this. You're just paying for your groceries, and no matter what the price is, it's not a big deal. You could imagine you had a $700 grocery shop and it's no big deal, and that's all the scene needs to be. You just see the $700 total, and it's not a big deal. You don't even think about it. That's all your scene needs to be. If you were a wealthy person, the price of groceries would not matter. And the final step for this is just let that state be your baseline. Let that state of consciousness just be who you are, because consciousness is the only reality. So when you stay there, reality will reflect that. Now, I don't mean you need to go out and spend $700, but when you imagine something like that, it's going to appear in your life at some point. Reality has no choice but to reflect that. There was a time where if I was just going through the drive-thru for a coffee, I would always have to check my bank account to make sure I had $5 in there to get the coffee I wanted. Now I can't remember the last time I looked at my bank account to make sure I had enough money to get what I was buying. Consciousness is the only reality, but imagination leads and the physical follows. So just have faith in what you are conscious of being, have faith in yourself, and have faith in the reality you desire to experience. And to sum up this whole video in one simple sentence, don't try to change the mirror, change who's looking into it. Don't try to change the physical or anything out there. Change what's going on within. Change the experience you're having within, and everything on the outside will follow to match that experience. If you gained any insights from this video or have any questions, let me know down in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.